has the fundamental right to be informed of the nature and the cause of the accusation against him. But
somebody get the phone.
Never abided by that constitutional guarantee. Even worse, Mershon let him get away with it. He let Bragg get away with a trial that Bragg didn't want to put. And he should have done it 7 years ago if they were going to do it. They should have brought this case 7 years ago, not in the middle of my presidential election, where I'm leading by a lot, Biden by a lot. They brought it right in the middle of the election. Hopefully it doesn't work out for them. The same way allowed the local court to be misused to enforce a federal law over which he has no authority or jurisdiction. They have a federal law which they're using, but they have absolutely no authority. And under the federal law, I did nothing wrong. Andy McCarthy, former FEC Commissioner Bradley Smith, that's the expert that they wouldn't allow me to use, the #1 in the country. FEC Commissioner Bradley Smith's testimony would have established that Trump cannot have willfully violated FECA, that's Federal Election Campaign Act, because NDAs are not campaign expenditures. You know, there's nothing wrong with an NDA. They're signed all the time by many, many companies. They sign them literally on an hourly basis. Because NDAs cannot have, and then it says Trump did not have a FECA legal duty with respect to them. He could not have intentionally flouted the known legal duty. In other words, he's innocent. Mark Levin, same thing. The Bragg case is about lawfare run amok against a former president running again for president. It also represents the greatest effort to interfere with and steal an election. Donald Trump did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. This is everybody saying it. Except we have a judge who's corrupt. We have a judge who's conflicted. You know what the conflict is. So do I, but I can't say it because I'm under a gag order, which is another unconstitutional thing. You ever hear of a president, leading candidate, leading Biden, leading everybody, and have a gag order? I'm not allowed to speak. It's a first. No president has not been allowed to speak. But this is it. Read the cover today of the New York Post. Read all the stories in the New York Post. Everybody says this is crazy. This is not the trial that should happen. It's a very sad day. This is a dark day in America. We have a rigged court case that should have never been brought. And it should have been brought in another jurisdiction. As you know, we asked for that, and the judge never allows us anything. And just to end, we had an election expert who was going to say everything was perfect. Where the FEC did nothing, it was fine. And we had a lot of other people. I could give you a list of 40 people that would say the exact same thing as these people said. So thank you all very much. We'll see how it goes. This is a very dangerous day for America. It's a very sad day. Thank you.
Are you worried about a conviction?
So there it is, as former President Donald J. Trump makes his way into the courtroom. This is historic. They, meaning Democrats, there's no question. This is a case of political persecution, happens in third world countries. It's happening here in America. And I know that I join many of you in just praying for justice, and that at least one, they only need one juror to say, no, I don't see a felony crime here. I don't see it. And to listen as they make, the defense is expected to take 2 hours. That's what they said. So from 9:30 to 11:30, Trump's defense team will make their case to the jurors and telling them that there was no crime, reminding them that a so-called, even if you think a so-called hush money payoff happened, that's actually not illegal to do, nor are these NDAs or these signed agreements. And in fact, this was all this bookkeeping. You heard the bookkeeper himself take the stand, saying that in fact, he never talked to Trump, that he decided to put it in that column. So you have that testimony moving forward, and that it happened in 2017. Trump was already president. Who's in the courtroom? We have our next guest lined up, so I want to get to that. But who is in the courtroom? Tiffany Trump, youngest daughter of former President Trump. She is sitting alongside her husband, Michael Boulos, and then her older brothers, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and, of course, Eric's wife, Lara Trump. They're all in the courtroom right there with the president seated behind him. And the courtroom gallery has occasionally included either of the brothers, the eldest Trump sons, but this is a little bit of a variation because we see Tiffany Trump and her husband as well. Now, after closing arguments, the defense goes first, then the prosecution, then this will go into the hands of the jury, and they will weigh whether or not to add this to a list of firsts for any former president in United States history with a possible criminal conviction. But 12 jurors, Judge Merchan telling them, you and you alone are the judges of the facts. And by the way, you hear Trump talking about Judge Juan Merchan. He can talk about the judge. That's why he's talking about the judge. But he is obeying the gag order. He's not violating it, talking about other things that he's not supposed to talk about. But he's allowed to talk about the judge. So there it is. You hear him talking about that. And in the opening, you heard Todd Blanche, as we're getting the reports, Trump's lead defense attorney, presenting the defense's closing argument and saying that the prosecution has not met the burden of proof. So we'll continue to watch this and the latest developments. If anything develops out of that, of course, we'll bring it to you immediately. We want to get to my guest who joins me again. An honor to have Ambassador Francis Rooney joining me, talking about Russia, talking about Ukraine. And of course, Ambassador Francis Rooney represented Florida's 19th congressional district in the United States House of Representatives from 2017 to 21. And from 2005 to 2008 served as the U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, appointed by then President George W. Bush. So a great book, by the way, about diplomacy, and it's called The Global Vatican as well. Now a successful businessman. So good morning. Thank you for joining me. And your reaction, Ambassador, to the latest as the Trump trial now moves into a new phase with the closing arguments.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, what you were saying. I've been in a lot of Latin American countries over the years, and this political persecution, everything is common there, but absolutely unfounded and unique to see something like this taking place in the United States. Both the New York case, the hush money case, and the one on valuing assets, I think are just strictly political attacks.
Yeah, it's a sin, as I say. It's a sin, and we hate to see it in America, but hopefully at least one juror restores our faith right in the jury system. So we're watching that very carefully. I want to move on to, a couple of things. I don't know if you had a reaction to, we talked before about Pope Francis. Now there's this report coming out that Pope Francis, in fact, made some kind of a homophobic slur in a closed-door meeting, and all the media is reporting on this. If you had a reaction to that at all.
Well, I didn't read the article, but I did see the headline in the Fox's website, and or CNN's. I don't know what he said or might have said, but he's been very pro these behaviors, more pro those behaviors than Catholic teaching or his predecessors.
Yeah, and apparently the Vatican issued an apology. They're not really saying what the so-called vulgar term, what it was, but apparently the Pope has apologized over the reported homophobic slur. So apparently whatever he said, it was true, and that's a developing, breaking story really this morning as he apologized amid this anti-gay slur.
It's unusual to have a Pope apologize for something.
No, it's really bending over backwards for the LGBTQ plus community. I'm not sure what that's all about with him. When, I think of in Philadelphia, we've talked about this before, the Catholic schools closing, educational issues, crime issues, so many other issues he could be talking about. This is what they're focused on.
Well, he's kind of a menace as a pope. I mean, look what he said about Putin.
Yeah.
That in some ways Putin was justified for attacking the Ukraine because we expanded NATO. I mean, come on, give me a break.
So take me through it as, you think about it's now more than 2 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. It was concerning to see Putin meeting with, Chinese leadership and, hoping that he'll get a little support from his friends. And so, what is your take as you zoom out and look at what's happening with Russia, Ukraine, if you would?
Well, given the history of the world and global conflicts, I've been pretty fearful of not stopping Putin. Things have not worked out well when a guy like that, an authoritarian ruler, manages to take over another country. They rarely have stopped. And he's written and said that his goal is to regain all of the Balkan countries that were lost after the fall of the CIS. And I take the guy at his word. I mean, he's doing it. And we have been asleep at the switch. Obama joked when he took Crimea, laughed about it, and then now he puts troops on the border and we didn't do anything. We've got all of our NATO guys safely ensconced in Belgium, not the right place for them to be. So I'm a little worried about it, but I'm also worried now that the Ukraine may not have the resources to take him out and stop him. The Russia's evidently learned how to jam our HIMARS missiles, and Ukraine seems to be running out of good people. There's not that many Ukrainians to start with, and a lot of them have been killed.
Yeah, we live in these times where it sometimes feel like, I call it upside down land, but it feels sometimes like you look around the world and the chaos that is happening. And as far as whether it's Russia, Ukraine, whether it's what's happening in Europe, you've written a lot about, Germany and our allies. You look at the border, the southern border, you look at the mass movement, the population shifts, but so many individuals coming to this country and the border control or lack thereof. It just feels like the world is in chaos. And I'm not even mentioning our great American cities. Like, I'm reporting from Philadelphia, but New York, Chicago, the crime that's happening. It just feels like this chaotic situation, almost like you're caught in a wave, much like, we just, spent the weekend at the Jersey Shore. Like, you're caught in this wave and you can't just get your head above water and catch your breath.
Well, our government is clearly not serving its people. The people consistently say we want the border secure. Some people differ on what kind of immigration they would be for once the border's secure, but nobody seems to want an open border except the radical left. And we're not responding to the economy. I mean, Biden sits there and says, oh, there's no inflation. Everybody's doing great. Well, he doesn't know very many people that work for a living, that have to go buy bread. You ought to check with some of them.
Yeah, and that's just it with regard to our economy, these times. Even here in Philadelphia, just to localize it, we have some major projects to cap I-95 to rejoin us with riverfront, waterfront, etc. And they came out and said, hey, sorry, we gave you these estimates, but now we're looking at 18, 20% above cost, Bidenomics, with inflation overall. And that's the problem with development moving forward. You don't see these stories in the media, but I talk to people in business, small business, large business. It's taking a toll on each and every one of us, and the media doesn't seem to report on it.
Well, so much of our national wealth is taken up in interest payments because of the profligate spending that really every president since Bill Clinton has engaged in. It's just embarrassment. We've spent all of our patrimony, and now we're out of money. We can't do the things that need to be done. We spend it on a lot of ridiculous incentives for trying to tinker with the free market instead of letting the free market deal with things like EVs and stuff. Biden's tripled the size of food stamps. All this COVID subsidies, which turned out to have massive fraud. I think we're in a world of hurt. And again, we're not doing the things that the American people say they need done.
And so I know that you had, for example, you had written the one article in the Washington Post talking about national security, talking about the weapons package. And we've seen so many people, who are critical of all the money that is just flowing from the U.S. overseas in support of Ukraine. I think a lot of people are conflicted because on one hand, in the beginning, and here in our region, in the Philadelphia region, we have a huge population of individuals who are Ukrainian and or Russian. So there's a ton of interest and a ton of support for Ukraine. On the other hand, not supportive of this administration that seems to be throwing money at the issue rather than trying to solve it.
Well, that's true. What we're mostly throwing, I think they're on sound ground when they send weapons, not money.
Yeah.
Okay, this recent tranche of aid had a lot of weapons made by United States defense industry, but it also had a few $1 billion of so-called humanitarian aid for the Ukraine, which I guarantee is going to be stolen. They shouldn't have put that in there. They should focus on sending armaments to take out Russia. In a similar vein, do you know Biden gave over $700 million to that Palestine refugee agency in the UN, the one that had the Hamas sleepers in it?
Well, and that's just it. It's really a sin. It's a disgrace. Can final thoughts here as we think about our nation. We think about Memorial Day and the true meaning of what began as Decoration Day, if you would. And recently, since you brought it up, as far as these protesters even disrupting Memorial Day services and commemorations in various spots across the country. To me, I was so taken aback by that and thought to myself, these are individuals who want to bring the conflict that has been over in the Middle East here to our country. But just your thoughts about Memorial Day and the true meaning of it, the sacrifice, and just from, zooming out from your great perspective.
Well, I think Memorial Day, like the 4th of July, are fundamental times for the United States to reflect back on our history, sacrifices so many people have made to build our country and preserve it, particularly starting with the founders who gave virtually everything they had of their money, time, and life to start this country in a radically different view of government than the one that that dominated Europe at the time, which were basically monarchies. And so that needs to be nurtured and cared for. And democracy, to survive, needs to entertain all sides peacefully and have free speech and freedom of expression. And it seems to be a lot of people, particularly university-level people, don't really care about free speech anymore.
Well, listen, Francis Rooney, Ambassador Francis Rooney, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Always just appreciate your insights, of course, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Until next time, Ambassador Francis Rooney just writes, every once in a while writes for such great publications, and still successful businessman who really brought decades of that private sector experience to government. And that's a piece of what I think we're missing. You see, you think of all the Democrats who became politicians, even John Fetterman, U.S. Senator Fetterman, who I think has been on the right side recently of so many issues. But when I think about a lot of these Democrats getting into the business of partisan politics, they enter Congress with zero practical experience. In other words, supported by mom and dad, supported by a trust fund, or coming up with really having never earned an honest dollar, as I would call it. I think that should be a prerequisite, in my opinion. If somebody wants to run for any office or serve in the government, I actually think that the prerequisite should be that you should have at least 5 years at least, experience in the private sector. I'm not talking about being a, what's it called, community organizer. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having a job, earning money, working in the private sector and for a non-government entity. I think that would bring forth a lot of common sense and also more well-rounded individuals who get it, so to speak. I think that's another problem that we see. They want to spend our money, but it's really monopoly money to them, even when they're, working on these major, billion-dollar packages. It's monopoly money to them. To you and me, it's real because we understand we pay for all of this, and we understand we pay for the roads. Remember that Obama line that, well, you didn't pay for those roads. You traveled on a road to get to that job. No. We, the taxpayers, we see the money coming out of our paycheck for a lifetime. We appreciate that. We understand it. So in any event, always grateful to Francis Rooney for giving his perspective. All right, quick break. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. And we will talk law enforcement. I'll get into the whole issue of the Jersey Shore, and I'll share what I did over the weekend. We were in Wildwood, which usually we're Ocean City people. We'll talk about that if you were down the shore or if you were participating in some of the incredible commemorations across our region, across the country, whether you were down the shore or here on the Jersey side, Pennsylvania side. I'd love to hear from you. 855-839-1210. Thanks for being here this Tuesday morning. Short work week. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Hey, this is Ray Didinger. I had the opportunity to open the new Joe Conklin show. It was sensational. It includes all the impressions, Iverson, Merrill, and Mike Barkley. He brought in this whole musical component with a full orchestra. It's really good. His daughter Casey's part of it. His brother's part of it. They can rock it, boy. So you got all the music, plus you got all the comedy. It's a great night.
That's Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood Catholic High School on June 29th and the Ocean City Music Pier on July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Hey, it's Greg with Kale and Company. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Listen to this. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 you can use on same-game parlays, like which player will score the first basket, how many three-pointers a specific player will take, and if a player can score 25 or more points. Live bets, championship futures, and so much more. There's so many options right there in the FanDuel app. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg to get started. FanDuel.com/Greg. There's no better place to get in on all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking they were at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me, MD.
When it comes to your home or business, Bradford White knows hot water is not optional. It's essential each and every day. That's why Bradford White makes water heaters that are built to be the best. With innovative features like our exclusive Microban antimicrobial technology that helps protect and keep the tank clean and extends the life of the water heater for top performance 24/7. How you heat your water matters, so choose the proven reliability of Bradford White. Learn more at bradfordwhite.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I know that with this economy, summer vacation may seem a bit unaffordable this year, but I still want you to make those summer memories with the kids. You got to do it, right? Summer vacation. And my happy place, the Grand Hotel of Cape May, makes it easy and affordable. Book a June midweek stay, and you will receive resort credits. That's right, they're going to give you money to spend at the resort. Now, they have 2 gigantic pools, including a heated indoor pool, and you will love the food at Hemingway's restaurant. And you're going to love using their resort credits on site. For example, you stay a week, you're going to get $70 a night back in resort credits to use. And you can use them how you want to use them. And the Grand Hotel offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette. So you get the best of both worlds. It's like renting a shore home, but with all the amenities of a full-service resort. And you don't have to pack the sheets and the towels. You enjoy the convenience of a private kitchenette, refrigerator, and housekeeping. Book direct with them for the best rates to get your resort credits. Book your stay at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. They will sell out this summer. grandhotelcapemay.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy 2, get 2 free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
The Biden campaign, breaking news, Biden campaign responding outside the Manhattan courtroom after Trump said this is a political persecution. Listen in as the Biden campaign reacts.
He wants to talk about why Donald Trump's the architect of the repeal of Roe v. Wade, why he wants to go even further in his second term, why he thinks the extreme state-level abortion bans are playing out brilliantly across the country. He wants to talk about Trump's embrace of political violence and the core threat he poses to our democracy. Lastly, he wants to talk about Trump's economic plans and how they'd make Trump and his rich friends richer at the expense of working families, just like he has his entire life. So that's what this campaign is going to be focused on and talking about over the course of the next month. We're going to make sure that Trump has to answer for all of the above and for his extremism on the debate stage. That started last week when we launched our new ad, narrated by Mr. De Niro, which underscores Trump's increasingly unhinged and dangerous quest for power. And we're not going to let our foot off the gas. You'll be hearing and seeing a lot from our campaign as we bring the stakes of the election directly to the voters who are going to decide it. It's simple. Trump poses a unique and growing threat to our fundamental rights and our freedoms, our very democracy, and our economy.
This is Michael Tyler.
Today, it will remain crystal clear tomorrow.
Biden communications director for his campaign.
On June 27th. So now I'm going to pause and turn it over to Robert De Niro.
Oh, here we go. This is, you can't make this up. This is Bobby De Niro wearing shades,
really,
getting heckled.
Over here are
Sorry about that.
It's really crazy, and this thing, Donald Trump has created this. He should be telling them not to do this, but he's just he wants to sow total.
Can you speak up?
Sow total chaos, which he's succeeding in some areas and places to do.
Watch the language.
Anyway, beside all that, this is my neighborhood, downtown New York City. I grew up here and feel at home in these streets. I feel comfortable.
Eek. I don't know that we can carry this. It's Bobby De Niro, who is right outside. So the Biden campaign has decided, while they're prosecuting a former president, historic, as the Trump defense team does closing arguments, you've got the Biden campaign showing up, blasting Trump, and Robert De Niro in his shades, his dark suit, with his wise guys behind him. I mean, he's got these like big, seriously, it looks like central casting right outside the, Sopranos or something. These wise guys behind De Niro as he's blasting Trump, blaming Trump as if Trump really wants this. This is his fault and he could stop this. What a joke. Can we take a little bit more, Anthony? I know the problem is we have Trump supporters who are screaming F you and profanities at Robert De Niro. So we got to ride the button. Is he done? Can we take this?
Yeah, here, let's try one more time.
To be a spokesperson for himself. He was calling it as himself for himself, to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns.
Yeah, that's why you live there.
We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street. We tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture.
Wasn't he accused by his longtime assistant of harassing and bullying?
Will eventually
He's a clown.
Run the country. That does not work, and we all know that.
He's even got a bright red nose. He's calling others a clown. He's got this bright red nose, these dark shades, a gray polo, his dark colored jacket. And, just think about that. You have somebody who's on trial. This is a criminal trial. He's the one making a circus out of it. as the Biden campaign, this is the wisdom of the Biden campaign, thinking, well, you know, it'd be a good idea. We're going to stand outside an official proceeding where a former United States president is on trial for 34 criminal allegations against him, facing very serious criminal charges. This has never happened in our nation. And by the way, the judge, whose daughter is a major Democrat operative, the judge has gagged Trump, in fact, really very, has limited greatly the defense team. They couldn't even, if they wanted to call the most important witness, a former FEC federal commissioner, right, of the FEC, the judge gagged him essentially from talking too much about explaining the complexity of this issue. Why? Well, the judge is afraid that the FEC commish, who knows this stuff inside out, would basically say, no, this is not possible. This is a federal crime that you're trying to push through in a state court. Doesn't make sense. And BTW, feds did not charge. They don't have it. Wouldn't even let that witness testify to that effect. Give me a break. Talk about a circus. But De Niro there with his beet red nose, he looks like the clown, and trying to make a circus out of what is a very serious criminal proceeding. And New York City and New York State should take this very seriously, what's happening here. If they can do this to somebody who's a billionaire and a former U.S. president, what do you think they're going to do to you if they don't like your politics? Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. Honest to God, you can't. I've never seen anything like it. I've been reporting the news for a long time. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. We have a lot to talk about, other breaking news. I do want to get to the shore. I want to talk about everything, good, bad, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's raw, it's real, it's right here. This is The Dawn Show. Thanks for being with me. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Your radio doctor is sponsoring Diapers for Darlings, inviting you to donate disposable diapers for needy mothers. Visit yougivegoods.com. All donations go to Catholic Social Services, but be assured diapers go to moms of all faiths. What they share is the need for our help, so they could comfort their new little angels, because every life is precious. Visit yougivegoods.com and search Diapers for Darlings.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace.
If you've put off replacing windows because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door.
Just text DOOR to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year.
That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month.
Text DOOR to 200-300 right now. Text the word DOOR to 200-300. Don't wait. Text DOOR to 200-300.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. The NBA playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on the action on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, championship futures, and a lot more. And no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom. That's FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Democratic government. A government that is
More De Niro.
Said, of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it.
We want Trump, they're
over.
chanting.
That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
Really?
He will never
left last
leave.
time.
You know that.
Nope.
He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives. This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
So there it is, Robert De Niro, who really has one act. He says he's an actor. He has one act. It's just, look at any movie. He's that same person. What a disgrace that he comes outside a serious court proceeding where inside 12 New Yorkers, even though they're not all native New Yorkers, will soon weigh the evidence and weigh the fate of former President Donald J. Trump in a criminal proceeding. And they could reach, 3 different verdicts. Okay. If they can't agree, if there's a hung jury, then that leads to an acquittal. So we're hoping that one of the 12 says no. They did not really make the bar or reach the level that they have to convince me that he committed these felonies. Closing arguments underway, and these clowns show up. The Biden campaign shows up. Michael, their campaign spokesperson, then hands it over to Bobby De Niro. The hecklers are going crazy. We want Trump. And he's saying, essentially, this guy is a threat to democracy. I'm endorsing Joe Biden for president. Doesn't this prove that this is a political persecution? Because if I'm a defense attorney for Donald J. Trump, when I go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, I'm going to say, well, the evidence as to what this really is, here it is. All the networks carried it. Here you have the Biden campaign, the presidential campaign for re-election, outside the court, bringing in famous Hollywood actor De Niro, and saying, I endorse Biden. Trump is a danger to democracy. Is he trying to speak to those jurors? Is that what this attempt is? If you don't think this is political persecution, look no further than what happened feet outside this courtroom. I think that this tees up what did I say last week? I had 6 different appeals, and I'm not even an attorney, right? But this is just another one now. Another argument for the appeal. Take this to the Ninth Circuit Court. So let's see. You gagged a presidential candidate who is the GOP, choice, right? He has all the delegates. So you've gagged him on the campaign trail. You've prevented him from going on the campaign trail. You've taken in a state court, and you're trying to get him, trying to hook him to a federal crime. Doesn't fit. Haven't proved any crime. And now you've got the national campaign of President Joe Biden, and they plan to go, and they just went outside the courthouse. Are they trying to influence the jury? Are they trying to tell this jury, hey, jury, you might not have a crime, but the guy is a danger to democracy, so you must convict? Are they trying to influence the jury pool? To me, this makes it very clear. This is what it's all about. It's political persecution. But shame, what an embarrassment. What a joke. I love the hecklers, and then they're yelling so loud that De Niro is getting in a back and forth with them. The reporters saying, can you speak up? Because they, you know what, they can't hear because the Trump supporters are so loud. Well, they've just created more of a circus. Now, supposedly, somebody from the Trump campaign supposedly will be speaking. So let's see how this goes. But to me, this is, wow. This is just one more strong piece of evidence in their appeals case to say, see, persecution. Look at the campaign shows up right outside court. I don't know the answer to this, but I would love to know, can the people inside the courthouse, can they hear this going on? Because it looked like they did have microphones. I mean, can they hear anything happening inside the court with all the ruckus and the shouting and the yelling? And how does that impact the jury, those jurors? That's another question. By the way, so these are the closing arguments. The defense should go for at least until 11:30. That's what they're told. They'll take a break, and then the prosecution team, they will go forth, and then it could go to the jury tonight or tomorrow. So we're following this very carefully. I appreciate you being here at Dawn Stensland. Let me take one call, if I may. Can I take Duffy here? Hey, Duffy.
Yeah. Hey, Dawn. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, yeah, I'm an everyday listener, and I appreciate everything you do over there and everybody there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I talked to. I'm actually driving down to Ocean City right now for a day trip.
Nice.
It's gonna be such a nice day. Yeah, and I've been going there with my family for the last 34 years. My kids. Now I'm taking my grandkids down there, and the stuff that went on the boardwalk the other day, over the weekend, it was just beyond like things that happened in the past. When I first heard about it, I thought, down around 10th Street, the kids usually get down on the beach, but when you see the video of what happened down there that day, they got to do something about this for sure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, they got to call in. They got to start getting strict about these rules. Just not facing them off. They got to get arrested, and just don't let any. Because if you give them an inch, they're going to take a yard. And even just the abuse, the language you hear the kids talk. I mean, you never heard any of this stuff years ago down there. When my kids growing up, and and besides that, though, like you were talking about with Robert De Niro today, what a joke this guy is.
Yeah.
You described him perfectly as a clown, coming up there with his tough guy suit on, with his guys like he's in a movie or something. You know, he is a total joke, and I'm glad everybody's over there booing him. And you know what? That is actually the voice of the country right now, too.
Yes.
And I know a lot of Democrats and anybody who has any common sense can see what they are doing to President Trump. And I mean, this is just unbelievable. This whole scam, the whole thing, as he says every day at this, you know, when he talks afterwards, you know, this is a total scam. The judge, the whole business. And they know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
They know they're going to lose, and they have to get him out of it. So, I don't know. It's just we're in a really bad spot. This summer's going to be crazy, I think, you know, leading up to the election.
I think I fear that you're right. I hope you have. It's going to be beautiful. If only we had today's weather yesterday.
Last minute. I know, 83 and sunny down there today. That's why I just made a last minute call. I'm retired, and I'm just going down. I love going to the beach.
Well,
my poor wife, she's listening probably right now. She's sitting home on her computer at home working, and she's, you know, she said I'll have a great time down there.
Nice.
But I wish she could come down too, but.
Well, maybe next weekend.
Anyway.
The weather's going to be gorgeous all week through the weekend. Duffy, thank you so much. I really appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts on that. One thing I'm just going to say to you is that, so we went to I kept saying to Larry, we got to go to Wildwood. We got to go to Wildwood. And he was like, oh, you know, and because he's been going to Ocean City. That was their shore point, Ocean City and Sea Isle, where a lot of the family lives. And we owned a place for many years in Ocean City. But I just said, first of all, Wildwood there's more availability they're pet friendly. And he's 14 and a half. I just said, there are all these places they're restaurants even that are, Wildwood, if you know Wildwood, they're very pet friendly. And I will admit to you, ever since the first Trump rally, you know, back in the day, in the wintertime, not the last one where I was sick and I couldn't go, I just said, you know what? Wildwood has really changed. There's a ton of development. And that old reputation that Wildwood had before, it's not the same. And so Larry was sold. We went. It was beautiful. The people were so friendly. It was gorgeous. We were on the boardwalk both nights, no problems. And, the kids loved it. They had a great time. Oh, now he's doing the... They were on the Ocean City boardwalk, but it was before the problems. And we said, if you see any fights or any, just get out of there. So I will tell you that we never saw any of the problems that everybody saw.
So it wasn't David or Michael in the video?
Absolutely.
That wasn't them?
Of course not. Of course not. Are you kidding me?
I am. A little bit.
And I always say to him, are you kidding me? Can you imagine? And that's just it. For every parent, and they should do what they've done with J6ers. Put the video up and make it public with their faces.
Lock them up for life.
No,
these
just
kids.
put the video up and do the social the recognition or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't. If you're on a public venue and you're a juvie, put up the website streaming live now, right? And just let everybody see it. Let it rip.
Sell 24/7 live stream.
I'm serious though. But to Duffy's point, there are no ramifications. That's part of the problem. Look, if they said we're going to lock you up, you're going to spend the night in jail, it would all change. But they know that it's soft. That Governor Phil Murphy, New Jersey, does not want parental rights. The cops used to break it up, and they used to call the parents. But now the police are not really. They're not able to enforce the laws. That's the bottom line. And the laws and policies have changed. I'm just saying. But I'm telling you right here and now, if they just said there are cameras everywhere, we're going to live stream everything. And it's all public. And it's going to be up there. And if you're involved in anything, we're not taking it down. You are on camera. To go on the boardwalk, to go on these areas, you're on camera. The good, the bad, the ugly. By the way, I would probably wear a hat and make sure I'd wear my Susie Cool MAGA hat. Thank you, Susie Cool. And Pete. They sent me that beautiful pink MAGA hat, Trump 2024. I love it. All right, we have to take a break. 855-839-1210. We have Sergeant Betsy Brentner-Smith. She'll sound off on a lot of this, talk about law enforcement and the policies that now handcuff law enforcement. We'll talk about that. So much more to get into. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. And yes, Wildwood, we had a blast. Oh, and Buddy Boy, he had so much fun too. So if you have rediscovered Wildwood, call in. Let me know. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
'Cause it's kissing time. Gonna twist the game. Like remember when.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Ethan is in New Jersey. He wants to talk about the protesters at Drexel.
It's very easy for people to say free Palestine or from the river to the sea or whatever they're saying. Scariest thing for me is that a lot of these people don't know what they're talking about.
Ethan, we appreciate the call. Thank you very much, buddy. How about that? Well, not too often we get high school graduates 18 years old calling into the show. I think that's another demo we're kicking ass in.
By the way, guys, another good month.
Yeah, I know.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as one day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Hi, it's John Ashell, the Car Czar from Colonial Hyundai. It's time to stop horsing around and make a sure bet by buying your next vehicle during the Colonial Hyundai Triple Crown Sales Event. Take your pick and win 3 ways at Colonial. Save up to 20% off any new Hyundai in stock, $6,500 for your trade, guaranteed 0% financing on a brand new Hyundai for up to 60 months. The remodeling of our dealership is coming down the home stretch, and we have a huge selection of Elanchas, Santa Fe's, Konas, Ioniqs, and more, all marked down and available for immediate delivery. We're the top jockeys when it comes to making sure you ride off the lot with the best financing and the most car for your money. Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain. It's the ultimate trifecta, only at Colonial Hyundai. Up to 20% off any new Hyundai in stock, $6,500 for your trade, 0% financing for 60 months. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the fast, easy, better way to buy a Hyundai.
0% offer valid on select Ioniq 5 vehicles. Up to 20% off dealer listed price. Includes all rebates and incentives. Offer cannot be combined with other offers. Offer ends 6/3. See dealer for more details.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Chaos down the Jersey Shore. Oh, my goodness. Now, I didn't see any of it. My family, we had a great weekend. You think about the Wildwoods, the Vietnam Veterans Remembrance Wall, many wonderful commemorations honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms as we think about Memorial Day and the real meaning of Memorial Day. But for so many in Ocean City, New Jersey, Wildwood, if you were on the boardwalk in Ocean City, that incident happened after 9 p.m. Saturday night. And then, my goodness, Sunday night, overnight into Monday morning, there was a state of emergency on the boardwalk. Yes, the police said they were so overwhelmed with 911 calls that they just shut it down, declared a state of emergency. So we don't have the numbers, the final tally on arrests, how many of those charges may stick. We know on the Ocean City boardwalk, there was an actual stabbing of a 15-year-old boy. And so police continue to investigate that situation. And then earlier this morning, I've been reporting on all the chaos, even North Jersey. They had that incident where they thought that there were some gunshots fired, turned out in Seaside Heights that, in fact, it was a car backfiring. But what I see here, when I look at the Jersey Shore, or even let's look at in Philadelphia, 12 people shot, 3 killed over the 3-day holiday weekend in Philadelphia, another deadly weekend. But no matter where you want to look, it's the issue of policing. The defund the police movement has impacted each and every one of us, and we all pay. And that's why Mayor Sherelle Parker, why did she even win? Because she's not that crazy far-left progressive who wants to get rid of police. Philadelphia spoke out, and this is we are traditionally a blue city, but in essence, Sherelle Parker, in my humble opinion, was more conservative in her campaign promises than even the Republican candidate, David O. Because remember, she said, if we need to do stop and frisk, we're going to do what we got to do to get it done. So think about that. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Okay, not there yet, obviously. But down the shore, these law enforcement officers, it's not their fault. They have to work within the policy, the laws that are created by a Democrat majority. And this is Governor Phil Murphy. This is what he wants, because Governor Phil Murphy and what the Democrats are all about is taking away parental rights. So why do you think the kids are going crazy? Because they know they can. It's really as simple as parenting. Think about you as a parent. If your kids know that you say, now don't do that, but then they do it and there's no punishment, there are no ramifications, well, they're going to do it. But they know that as a parent, if you lay down the law and you stand behind it, guess what? Kids crave authority. They crave structure. What we're seeing down the Jersey Shore is just an extension of poor parenting. That's the bottom line. Poor parenting, poor policy. And so what did the cops do in Wildwood? They just said, we're going to shut it down, particularly because of what they saw with a stabbing that happened in Ocean City. It's unheard of. It's unprecedented. So good for them. They shut it down. That's what they had to do. We have Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith. Needs no introduction here on the Dawn Show. I hope you had a blessed Memorial Day. And I wonder if you would react for us, if you would, Betsy, to the craziness, the insanity we saw in supposedly quiet little shore towns where the kids are going wild.
Well, that's the thing. It's this weekend. It wasn't just Philadelphia and Chicago and L.A., but in little Wildwood, and I love what the mayor said. The mayor of Wildwood said, we will not tolerate unruly, undisciplined, unparented children, and nor will we stand by while the laws of the state tie the hands of police. Wow. Somebody needs to, crochet that on a pillow and hand it out.
Crochet it.
Because that's exactly, and now, here, what do people do? They go to get out of the city, right? Go to the Jersey Shore, go to places like that where they can just walk on the boardwalk and enjoy the ocean and have some ice cream and things like that. And no, we have this unprecedented number of young people and teenagers, and to the point where they have to shut it down for everybody. And then who suffers? Well, we've got, crime victims, we've got a stabbing victim, but then everybody suffers. And because then you can't go and participate in local traditions, in American traditions. That was the kickoff of summer. And we're seeing this all over the country. And this is what we get in a post-George Floyd United States. It's all about the criminals. It's all about defunding and making sure that the police have their hands tied. And it's not working out for anybody in any city or in small towns.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for these cities like Wildwood or Ocean City, down the shore, or any place, but in particular here, the laws of the state, and Wildwood Mayor Ernie Troiano said this, the laws of the state tie the hands of the police. So we support the police in protecting the community. We will not tolerate this. Talked about unparented children, but, what do they do? And I think that was my take on it, that the reason they just declared a state of emergency and shut down the boardwalk was to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. If we have any unruly behavior because of your laws, New Jersey and Governor Phil Murphy, we're just going to shut down the boardwalk. See how you like that. Because what other choice do they have?
Well, yeah, because the politicians are now going to get pushback from business owners, not just, police leaders and things like that, but they're going to now, I'm sure today there's a whole lot of discussions about what's going to happen for the rest of the summer all up and down the Jersey Shore, because this is so many of those businesses there. This is where they make hay for the whole year, is the summer. And we used to have laws in place. I'm going to sound like an old person, but back in my day, we had laws where we could take young people into custody for behavior of that, where we could, there were curfew laws and things like that. So many of those laws are gone, or they're unenforceable, or we can't take custody of young people. And plus, there's not enough police. I can't stress that enough. If you don't have enough police officers to take on crowds of unruly young people, then you're going to have to just clean it up later after they do whatever it is they're going to do. And we see that in Chicago, we see that in Los Angeles with the teen takeovers, and that's a big concern. We had one a couple of weeks ago in Chicago when there was, kind of a warm day. Now we're into summer, and that is a huge concern for the Chicago Police Department. And yet, of course, the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, he gave a flowery speech the other day talking about all of the social programs that he's going to enact to take care of crime in Chicago, because I believe he's over his head, but I also believe that he's scared to death because he has the Democratic National Convention coming and out of control crime in Chicago. 41 shootings this weekend in Chicago. You had 3 shootings in 45 minutes in Philadelphia that, where you had a man who was the unintended target of that just shot down all over the country. Now we've got a Hollywood actor, a soap opera actor in Los Angeles, who was murdered for trying to protect someone during the theft of a catalytic converter. People are starting to see, but I don't know, Dawn, will they act? And that's still the wild card. Are people going to say, oh, I have some control over this as a voter and as a citizen of this country? I don't know. We're going to have to see.
Well, one thing I will say, I'll point out 2 things. Number one, we're hearing from witnesses that some of those clashing teenagers on the boardwalk, and this was Ocean City, were wearing medical masks as well as ski masks, which have been outlawed here in Philadelphia. I'm just waiting for that to be challenged. But, I do wonder if they, and they were not only wearing like a ski mask or a medical mask, then they wore sunglasses, and this was 9:00 at night, and hooded sweatshirts. So I do wonder if they will say, maybe they'll say no masking unless you have like a medical, I don't know, reason or doctor's note or something. Maybe they'll try to do that or outlaw the ski mask. But then there's the other piece of it that they're talking about, the shoplifting reports that are happening and the impact on the businesses, because the same people wearing the ski masks causing the fights are the same ones, that are going in the shops and shoplifting.
Oh, absolutely. And remember, for 4 years now, right, we've been told, oh, if you don't wear a mask, you're a murderer. Everybody needs to go back 4 years. Right now, 4 years from right now, and remember all the things we were being told about masking. And the only time you could, take your mask off was if you were protesting, the death of St. George Floyd 4 years ago. And so we are going to have to decide again what's actually logical. And you're right, the shoplifting continues to, we keep being told crime is down. Retail theft continues to be on the rise. And again, going back to the Jersey Shore, these shops up and down these, adorable little ocean towns. I love going there. They live on people coming in, browsing around, touching things, looking at a T-shirt and things like that. And they can't lock all that stuff up. That's going to make the shopping experience not fun for people. People are going to, I'm not sure if I had little kids now, would I want to go to Ocean City? Would I want to go to any of these towns and spend my very hard-earned money? Remember, it's a lot more expensive now to go on vacation in anywhere. And am I going to want to spend the money worrying about people coming in, stealing in broad daylight, frightening my kids, and then what? I on vacation, I've got to be in the house by 6:00 at night. Be in my hotel room or whatever. And it's going to be. This is going to be not just a dilemma for police leadership, but really for political leadership. I'm glad the mayor really spoke out. And but it's going to have to go up to the governor's office, and it's all in New Jersey. It's going to have to go. You have to the state attorney general is going to have to get involved. And again, in New Jersey, there is rarely a police department, midsize or above in New Jersey, that is fully staffed. And remember, these ocean towns, a lot of them hire part-time police officers in the summer, especially on the weekends. So it's going to be a tough summer to police all of this. And yet the solution is so simple, right?
Yeah.
Parents, parent your kids, keep them home, and when a kid, a young person commits a crime, punish them. There's your solution.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe, we have beach tags in some shore towns like Ocean City. I wonder if they'll start having boardwalk tags, or maybe it'll be like, TSA or something where, what are they going to do? Are they going to start, somebody gets like a lifetime tag, you give your ID, they do facial recognition, and then I have a problem with that because now your freedoms are being infringed upon in the name of a few bad apples that they really don't want to deal with.
Well, you're right, and that's why they're wearing the masks and the sunglasses, because they know that they don't have as many police officers as they should, but they sure know that there's cameras, and there's cops poring over cameras right now this morning. I have no doubt, to try and figure out what was happening and identify people. But remember, all those measures you talked about cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to pay for that? Is that going to come out of the police budget? Is there going to be some sort of federal money, state money? Is the governor going to maybe, try to issue some grants and things like that to be able to do that? But then again, you go back to just what you said, then there's some rights violations, and it's just not a fun experience.
Yeah.
So what are people going to do? Maybe pay a little extra money and drive down to places like Florida that don't have these problems, or they're gonna stay home and avoid these areas, and that's disastrous for the state of New Jersey, and really, really unfortunate for those small business owners who are just trying to make money and provide a fun summer memory for the people who come to their shores.
Yeah, it's so true, and that's just it. I mean, the reason I still get butterflies when I go over the one bridge. Because you think of all of those memories. You think of all the family members who've now gone to heaven. You know what I mean? And it just, those memories just rush back, and you want your kids to have those memories, and you want to relive that. And this just robs everybody of that experience. And like you said, I did see one mom, she had a younger, like 8-year-old daughter who was, because this fight among these teenagers erupted, and her 8-year-old was shoved. She's okay, but was kind of shoved. The mom and dad grabbed her away. But, to your point, it makes people feel like, well, geez, I don't know if I'm safe with my kids. I got the stroller. And so that brings, another piece into play here. Do they say you're going to be banned? They take them to court and they say, if you're caught doing this, wreaking havoc, we're going to ban you for 2 years or something. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, I think you're right. The answer is, first of all, more cops, but again, that's a very difficult answer. The ultimate answer is parenting, but we are now, unfortunately, in a society in the United States where the rights of others are taking a back seat to the rights of a few.
Yeah.
And, so, you or I or anybody else, we want to go and have fun with our kids and our grandkids and things like that. Our rights are pushed down. And the rights of the criminals, for whatever reason, those are put way above. And this is what we've been experiencing for the last 4 years. We all know what this goes back to. We've got to start talking about it as a nation. And instead, we had all these politicians who did what in the last week? Talking about the death of George Floyd. The president said we need to, act in his honor. If you want to act in George Floyd's honor, go about your business and stop committing crimes. That'd be a great thing to do. But we have sunk to the point in the United States where the rights of criminals are taking priority over the rights of law-abiding citizens. Now, again, you talk about this a lot. I talk about this. The way to fix this is ultimately to vote. but that's a lengthy process, and a lot of people don't want to get involved in the political process. They just want to live their lives.
Yeah.
This is why voting is so important. Just not just nationally, not just your governor, but your city council, your county board, your small town mayors, New Jersey. We're talking to you, and on and on.
Yeah. Well said, Sergeant Betsy Brantner-Smith, National Police Association. Please go to the site. We talk all the time about the National Police Association, 501c3 nonprofit, defending officers, defending all these great policies that really protect all of us. Betsy, thank you so much once again. Until next time.
Thanks, Dawn. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Have a blessed Tuesday. Absolutely. I feel sad because in a way well, first of all, we had an incredible weekend. Buddy Boy was in Wildwood walking. I didn't know that dogs are not allowed on the boardwalk because through May they can be on the beach. But I did take him on the boardwalk a little by the conventions. Nobody said, they were like, he is so sweet. But they love dogs in Wildwood. I love that. I love that about Wildwood, that Buddy Boy could go. Stayed in a great little, got an efficiency little motel, had a blast. Great beach weather, well, until yesterday, unfortunately. And I hope there were some commemorations that I think they kind of were dancing between not dancing, but trying to have a day of commemorations despite the rain. And some people tried to move things to the morning rather than the evening. But I do want to hear from you as far as your Memorial Day. It was really a beautiful day of ceremonies and honoring those who've protected, who've paid the ultimate sacrifice, as I say, for our freedoms. So your thoughts, 855-839-1210. But yes, the ultimate answer to all of this nonsense, locally, nationally, whether you talk about the economy, whether you talk about the border, whether you talk about any of this, the answer, of course, is to vote for Donald J. Trump next November. It's really obvious. Policy does matter. And the policies we've seen have been catastrophic and disastrous under the current administration. And I think that's why you see people pivoting. That's why you see different groups of individuals who are now saying, yeah, I used to be a Democrat, but this party left me a long time ago. How often do I interview different individuals who say that? And we see it more and more. And on display this morning, what a disgrace to see Bobby De Niro with the Biden campaign rolling out a campaign ad. Yeesh, that was a disaster. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. I'll take some of your calls right around the corner. Susie Cool, Susie and Pete, thank you for sending me that awesome Trump pink hat. Wore it, got a lot of compliments over the weekend. It's perfect. It's fabulous. Get your thoughts. We'll be right back.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee, if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Pleasant conditions return to the Delaware Valley today. We'll have a mixture of sun and clouds. It'll be breezy, but that brings in a drier air mass, which means lower humidity, high 83. For tonight, partly cloudy, low 62. And Wednesday, partly sunny with some scattered afternoon showers, high 78.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics. 215-999-3000.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.
Guarantee legally binding transparency for your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Today, everyone is trying to eat healthier and eat more fresh foods. Well, that also goes for your four-legged friends. Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. If you are not aware of the new generation of fresh food diets available for your four-legged friends, then you are missing out. At Dogs and Cats Rule, we carry a wide-ranging selection of fresh foods that includes raw, gently cooked, freeze-dried, air-dried, and baked. To learn more, visit any of our 7 locations. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer.
With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me MD.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Yeah, we just had Duffy calling in, taking a road trip down the shore. It's a beautiful day. Just driving down to Ocean City. Wife's at work. Newly retired. Maybe that's you. So you're beyond the year. Like right now, I'm still in the Piazza Auto Group, the minivan. The Piazza Honda. But maybe you've graduated from the minivan days and now you've earned a luxury vehicle, right? And you've been looking at these different vehicles on the road and you think, oh, look at that beautiful Maserati. Look at that Jaguar. Look at that Land Rover, that Mercedes-Benz, that BMW, that Porsche. Some of the most beautiful, powerful, sleek vehicles on the road right now. I want you to reach out to my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles because you've earned it. And yeah, you've graduated from the days of the minivan, the car line at school, finding the, banana peel and the half-eaten banana under the seat. You've graduated. You've earned it. You've worked hard in life. PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Stop by one of their Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey dealers and tell them Dawn sent you. So I just saw our friend Jimmy Fela, who we know and love well, used to fill in for the Zioli show. So we knew him back before he really exploded with fame, if you will, on Fox Network. And he's so funny and so great. He said Robert De Niro is outside the Trump trial in the Trump courthouse, filming his latest movie, Raging Bull. I can't say the full word that he said, but Raging Bull S. I just laughed out loud when I said, thank you, Jimmy, for the laughter. But Anthony Dorenzo, our great executive producer, tracking the latest outside the Trump persecution. And what do we have going on, Anthony?
Yeah, after Robert De Niro spoke, we had Jason Miller of the Trump campaign outside of New York. Listen in.
Why is Joe Biden now making this a campaign event after months of weaponizing the legal system against President Trump? Because Joe Biden's numbers are in the tank. The headline for today in Politico very simply said, Dems in freakout over Joe Biden. Joe Biden is losing nationally, is losing in every single battleground state, and President Trump's numbers continue to rise. And the best that Biden can do is roll out a washed-up actor. And don't worry, my remarks will be shorter than The Irishman. I won't make you suffer for 3 hours. But the best they can do is roll out a washed-up actor. Last week, President Trump spoke in the Bronx, where he had over 25,000 people show up to rally around him. And the best the Biden campaign could do was put out a web video with Robert De Niro. There is nothing behind the Biden campaign. Their numbers are in the toilet. Kamala Harris is a terrible alternative, and it's all an attempt to try to turn around the Biden campaign. Now, what's happening here in Manhattan? We're in closing arguments for the Biden trial. We've been here for 6 weeks. Nobody has said that President Trump did anything wrong. We have a highly conflicted judge with an unconstitutional gag order, and everybody sees this case for what it is. In fact, the New York Post this morning, with the headline from Jonathan Turley, as Trump trial comes to close, DA's flimsy case is nothing to brag about. Everybody knows this case is complete garbage. President Trump did nothing wrong. This is all politics. If you don't think this is politics, then why do the Democrats wheel out a retread like Robert De Niro to try to change the subject? You could see the look on the Biden campaign staffers' faces. They knew this was a bad idea. They didn't want to be here. But somebody at Central Command told them that everything is going down the tubes for Joe Biden. And I hand it over now to Caroline Levitt.
What you just heard from is a desperate and failing and pathetic.
All right, we're going to pull back from that.
So that was Fox carried it. I don't know if CNN did. We were trying to monitor the situation. You hear Harris Faulkner, who I'm a huge fan of. She grew up on military bases, from a military family. I don't know if you knew that about Harris Faulkner. Just a beautiful, beautiful Christian lady. But I will say this, that, Robert De Niro, remember his longtime former assistant had sued him and talked about his behavior. And just last fall, just late last fall, he was found by a verdict, by a jury. They awarded $1.26 million to his former assistant because the way that he had treated her, and it was his production company, Canal Productions, that had to pay it. But it was because of the way that he spoke to her, the way that he had treated her, and just was demeaning, was vulgar, spoke to her. And, if you had a wife, a sister, a daughter who worked for him, the fact that she had to put up with his vulgar language, just demeaning, demoralizing, and then said that, she had to, wash his sheets, or she had to button his shirt for him, bend over, button his shirt. What a nasty person he is. But, by the way, he just had a jury award him, or file against him, and for his ex-assistant. You really learned what a nasty human being he is. Yeeks. Can you imagine if Trump, in all of his years of running businesses and really employing tens of thousands of people over the years, can you imagine if Trump had ever subjected any one of his employees to say, oh, bend over, button my shirt, do this for me, do that, and the way that he, according to the court and witnesses, De Niro was speaking, cursing at this young lady, and the way that he treated her. Can you imagine if somebody came forth and said that they had to be subjected to this demeaning, demoralizing behavior? Nobody did. Nobody has come forth for any of the Trump family. And so this is what they've got. They have to go back years and years, and you're looking back nearly 20 years ago in some of these things. And in this case in particular, it was a business bookkeeping filing in 2017. But they have to go back years to try to search for any little thing, but nothing to the level of the judgment that was against De Niro just last fall. There's no comparison when you look at these things in any of these cases. Nobody's even talking about Hunter Biden in court on Friday. Next week, Hunter goes on trial for this gun and drug situation. Okay. Can you imagine if Don Jr. or Eric or Ivanka, can you imagine, or Tiffany, who's in the court? Can you imagine if any of these Trump kids had done any of this that Hunter is accused of doing? Can you imagine what the media would say or do? Look at how nasty they even were with Barron when on Kale and Company, we talked, because it was just announced that Barron, who just turned 18, he's still a teenager, was a high school junior, not even graduated. He was going to be a delegate. What a cool thing. Just look at the contrast in the media coverage of the way one person is covered in the media and how how they're treated in the media when their last name is Trump. It's vicious and it's nasty. It's vile. And I just think the American people look at all of this and say, wow, this is over the top. And you think about that. A man is in a courtroom. I mean, he is fighting for his freedom. They want to lock him up. I mean, that it's a serious proceeding, even though I know among us, we think this is a persecution. It is. But at the end of the day, this is a serious court proceeding. The individuals who now have made it a circus are the Biden team. The Biden campaign is showing their hand by showing up outside a courtroom in a proceeding where you have defense attorneys fighting for the freedom of their client, who just so happens to be a former president of the United States of America. If they didn't show their hand today, I don't know when they have. I'm a little surprised they didn't. I'm going to say, I don't know, Anthony, if you feel this way, or if any of you 855-839-1210 feel this way, but I'm a little surprised that they didn't come out. Jason Miller said it a little bit, but to come out strong and say, wow, they just really are showing their hand. This is all 100% about politics. And I'm surprised they didn't say, geez, I hope the jury doesn't hear about this. That, De Niro and the entire campaign for the Bidens, they're out here. Are they trying to influence a jury? Isn't that illegal? I think they need to push that a little further. I have no doubt it'll be in the appeals case. Can I take one phone call? Pretty please, sugar on top. 855-839-1210. Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Hey, Tom, you're live on the Dawn Show.
How you doing? I mean, you constantly have that woman on with the FOP or the police union. The only thing worse than the baddest of the cops is their union representatives. They back them no matter what. The problem I think you're not getting, or Dom or the other host, you have to watch the YouTube videos. The whole country's been watching this now for years. The ego in the cops, they won't even identify their name. When you ask them to identify, right here. They put their foot in doors when they don't have warrants. Everybody's seeing this constantly on YouTube. You can watch it every day all over the country, and there's new stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's their culture that people are not responding to. So the camera didn't do them a favor.
So as far as the YouTube videos, I actually had this conversation with members of my own family and from all different parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and beyond. Part of the YouTube videos that I will say, number one, what is the date and are they time-stamped? Number one. Number two, with law enforcement and facial recognition and the way that they go after them. And I know you're right. The union will and you're talking about Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith with the National Police Association. But the union, if they have somebody who's captured on camera, then I'll just point you to the state police officer who fairly recently, he was fired because of that video that went viral. He had dash cam, no audio. State police, because of that situation, they got the cameras. But I really mean this when I say this to you. Look at the timestamp on the YouTube videos. So part of the reason, and I just had, this is a legitimate, for those of you who are upset with me for taking that call, first of all, I believe in the conversation. I always want to have the conversation, number one. Number two, because of the YouTube videos and the social media, there is a perception that you have all of these police-involved shootings and beatdowns. Look at the timestamp. It's really important, and they're not all dated. We've had fairly recently, Nick Cale in the morning said, "Oh, look at such and such," and then we were like, "No, look at the date. It was manipulated video." This is an important conversation. There is a perception in many communities that this police violence is running rampant, that they don't have to give their name. They get in trouble if they all have a name tag. They all have a badge number. If they cover up that badge, That's a huge violation. But nowadays with facial recognition, they can still go after them, and the officers know that. So it has changed. And the good cops will tell you, and most cops are good cops, and most law enforcement officers are good. They welcome these cameras. You know why? They want to get rid of the bad apples. That's the truth. And we've caught bad apples even. Who was that lady in New York? She got in huge trouble because she didn't realize the guy was wearing a body camera. And she was like, don't you know who I am? I'm a DA. I'm the district attorney. It was in New York State, I believe. And she had to apologize. So there's good in these cameras. Sometimes for any one of us, you don't understand how you look, how you sound. They use those cameras in training. But the problem with some of the social media and YouTube, look at the date and look at the manipulation of the actual video. I'll just ask you to do that. I'm being serious. I'm being sincere. It's a legit issue. I have this conversation. I had it over the weekend, by the way. 855-839-1210. I have to take a quick break. Be right back.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Our last new 2023 XC90 T8 is available for purchase, and the savings is huge. Save $12,860